And you can just say, when you see things that you think are right, whatever. You want to wear a burqa? Wear a burqa. But in other countries, it's not your choice as to whether or not you wear a burqa. It's not your choice as to whether or not you get married. It's not a choice as to whether or not you can go out and speak your mind. You're just not allowed to. See, the funniest thing about the people that claim that they hate this country is they're exercising a freedom that only this country would give them. That's the part of it. You want to be an a-hole? The Constitution and the freedom of speech allow you to be the biggest a-hole you want to be. And who's an a-hole is a matter of opinion. Right? And opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. It's just funny to me that the people that complain the most about this country don't realize that the fact that they're allowed to say whatever they want, pretty much wherever they want to say it, is the privilege they have of being an American. Look at all the people that get rich promoting socialism or communism.
Hey, Eggsy. Get ready to take off.
Land. Okay, well, then you're
I'll check this out when I get to the site.
You're just as bad as me then. And just making an acknowledgement before you make a speech doesn't mean you've done anything bold or brave or productive. We have to acknowledge now, what are you doing with that acknowledgement? Let's see who's me. Rick, Michigan, go ahead, you evil, heartless bastard.
Hey, I'm the crown prince of that. Something that really grinds my ass is the earned income tax credit.
Happy fucking Cops Day.
Absolutely nobody, but especially foreigners who are not even citizens, should ever get back a larger tax return than the amount of money they had withheld for that year. And yet I know people who every year pay in $1,500, $2,000 and get $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 back. That's not right.
I'm good. Just busy. Had a busy
when the Democrats point
morning doing remote work.
Because when they used to talk about
homegrown,
Norway,
yeah. I know. I don't know why I always say NWO. People have already pointed out that
Denmark,
I'm a literal person. I have issue with LVA's name too. I just always read it
show up in Norway and say,
wrong.
"Let me in first, and I'll figure out how to take care of myself second." They don't allow that. You have to prove that you can.
He's over on
to give them a good
Rumble,
to
XZ.
We don't do that.
Come over there. I need about 50 hours of watch time before the end of the month.
Sponsor named on his paperwork when he got on the ship. Well, they wouldn't let him come.
Again, we are trying to run our economy the way a Scandinavian country runs it, but with the open border. Julie, Nebraska, go ahead, you evil heartless babe.
Hi, Andrew. Yes, I am proud to be. I'm actually calling and tried earlier to get in about this week about your comment on the wealth tax, because I am one of your 5 million net worth viewers that they will eventually come after. And I didn't inherit my wealth. My wealth was created by hard work, spending within my budget, and disciplined, smart investing. So I think the people that listen to you and others need to realize the wealth tax is a broad socialist policy of trickle-down taxation. And it will happen because there are not enough trillion and billionaires to support their aggressive agenda.
Well, here's the thing.
You can see that. Yeah.
Unless they have a way of keeping the Musks and the Bezos putting their money in Swiss banks, it's going to hurt the people who can't afford to, have a Bahamian bank or a Cayman Island bank, or have accountants that know how to, legally shield their money. Right?
It'll be a
You look at the
cold day on the internet if I only stream to YouTube and not Rumble also. Usually it's always Rumble and then maybe YouTube as well.
Ways to shield your money. But you have to be at that level before you can afford to do it.
But the only way, when you do the math, the only way it works is if you, just with like taxation, it always works that way. You have to address the masses. Your last caller said 50%
Like the
of them
thumbnail?
don't pay any taxes. So they don't have enough work, probably. You have to take the money from the people that are sitting here on $5 million, $10 million that worked hard and get them to redistribute their wealth, because that's the only way to make it work.
Well, Saul Alinsky wrote in Rules for Radicals, don't focus on people with $25 million or more. The people you're organizing don't know anyone like that. He said focus on people with like 250,000 because you know where they live. Right? Like, it's not about going after Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Those people are...
Yeah, I made a few cool little videos too. I need to upload them to where I can use them.
But not enough to stop
little short clips for
I agree with that.
Duke.
I think people need to be as passionate.
I got my package of the stuff in today.
About the government coming to take their money as they are about the government coming to take their guns, because it will happen.
That's his code, and it's actually in the description too, guys. If you're looking for any good beard or hair products, go to fairmaylook.com. 25% off with discount code DCC25.
Billionaires. And then next thing you know,
it looks pretty good too. I've got it both in my hair and in my beard. Let me put the camera back on myself.
If you really believe that they're going to do a one-time this,
silky smooth it is,
that you are out of your mind. Honestly, I don't really have time for do I? No, we don't. All right. Let's see. We did all of our audio, right? We got everything. All right. Well, I guess I'm just going to run out of time here with 10, 9, 8, 7. You can't start a topic with 5 seconds to go. Do you believe in miracles? There it is. Haley's up next. Then Levin, Stacey Washington. We are right. They are wrong. That's the end of the story. The arguments on this radio program cannot be broken. Sirius XM Patriot.
With the high price of new and used cars today, many drivers are choosing to keep their vehicles a lot longer. But with the average car now over 12 years old, most manufacturers' warranties have expired. I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is out of warranty, a single trip to the mechanic could cost you thousands. That's why smart drivers choose Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, no matter the mileage, Endurance could have your car covered for the drivetrain, electrical, AC, transmission, and more. And Endurance is with you every step of the way, from filing a claim to paying the mechanic of your choice directly. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. Call Endurance now and choose the plan that fits your budget. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
For your fast free quote, call 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
Hey, Tim, what's wrong?
Somebody brake checked our truck. Their claims chaser attorney thinks his neck needs $50,000 to feel better.
And?
Now I have to go to court, negotiate with insurance.
No, wait, Tim. We have Samsara now. Dual-facing AI dash cams give us clear video, and instant retrieval means we can pull footage fast before they change the story.
So instead of ruining my quarter,
you just send the footage to legal.
Visit samsara.com/today to reduce risk and stop false claims with clear evidence.
No, Green Springs.
You can sell. I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from...
Eggsy does not live in New Zealand. I think you're thinking of someone else who we really haven't heard much from lately. I still have him on... Eggsy lives in Illinois. I know who you're thinking of, too. I just can't think of his name. I'll have to look at... it's not that long. It's about an hour. What? Why does it say an hour and 52 minutes? The fuck? Wait a minute. Oh, I accidentally put in fucking Cleveland. I was like, wait a minute. Ain't that long. I don't know why the fucking toll was so much, too.
House of Representatives voted Tuesday night 358 to 32 to pass a housing package aimed at lowering costs for home buyers and increasing housing supply. The 21st Century Road to Housing Act passed the Senate in an 85 to 5 vote Monday, and President Trump was scheduled to sign it Wednesday in the Capitol. However, he canceled the ceremony Wednesday morning to push the Save America Act instead, which requires proof of ID and citizenship to vote. Bernie Bennett in Washington. Today marks the 4-year anniversary of the repeal of Roe versus Wade. Marjorie,
see everything now? Cool.
Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, says the next battle is over the use of abortion pills. She says in many cases, women are getting those drugs, compliments of a man in their lives, pressuring them because he does not want to become a father.
She just gets it in the mail, or her boyfriend, her ex-husband, the guys in the fraternity, someone has those drugs and she gets them, and it's leading.
Yeah, we're gonna change the name of it, obviously, but yeah, that's the name for it now.
Was a guest on the Salem Radio Network. The head of the U.S. Nuclear Agency says Iranian nuclear enrichment sites will be visited by his inspectors, a key component of the interim U.S.-Iran deal to reach a final end of the war.
We will be working on the modalities, dates, procedures, places.
Hey, Fallen.
IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi. However, the latest hurdle in reaching the deal, Iran insists that the deal itself must be finalized before they will allow the inspections. More from townhall.com.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success. And here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you're invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership.
That's a real small space.
If you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar.
I don't know whether you're looking at the back patio or you're looking at the little park next to it. The park next to it's actually a public park with the fireplace and stuff. The patio behind it's really small. We're thinking about putting a whole tent over that. You know, like a pet or like a picnic tent type thing.
Another World Cup star scores his first goals in 2026.
Cristiano Ronaldo became the first player to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments. He had 2 goals in Houston for a 5-0 victory over Uzbekistan.
Oh yeah, the radio. Yeah, I'll turn it down. Just news. Yeah, but we're allowed to use that park anytime, and we can give or have people get what they call Dora cups, where they can take the alcohol out into the park. Dora is basically allows open containers out on the sidewalks within the city limits. I mean, they have to pay $1 for the cup.
The Communist Revolution back in the 1950s. You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Now, if a family member or friend asks you for financial advice or where to go for tax help, well, would you send them somewhere with hundreds and hundreds of complaints? Of course not. That's why for years you've heard me say if you do owe back taxes, if you didn't file returns in years gone by, or if you are a business owner and you're behind on your payroll taxes, you need to call my friends.
No, we just need to reserve it. There's no fee or anything. for business owners anyway.
And/or your company in jeopardy. Now, there are a lot of imposters out there, but Rush Tax Resolution, they are the only tax relief firm I trust and recommend. They are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They have protected so many of my listeners from tax disasters and saved them a ton of money. Call Rush Tax now for a free IRS transcript investigation, and they'll tell you upfront and for free if they can help you. They will only take your case if they know they can help you, period. 800-258-7050. 800-258-7050. RushTaxResolution.com.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
My friends, I went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about it is that you
Oh shit!
You could become an IT pro
Coming or
in
not?
6 months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
that works for me, and I know it's worked for you.
This is what students experience. Individual results vary. Second opinions. You have to with your health. So why not with your wealth? Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion. At Henry & Roach, it only takes a second. To schedule your free second opinion, call 800-279-5279.
Oh, that's funny.
Henry & Roach, the second opinion people.
Yeah, they're everywhere, man. I just passed one just now. Is that what made you think of it? You saw it on the side of the road? I've got a good site for them. Here, let me drop it in the. I guess that's something to.
So this is going to be building power. At the end of the day, I firmly believe that we are facing fascism in this country. What about the electoral college?
I think we need to look at that too.
Is that get rid of the electoral college?
I think that should be a discussion that we should have.
Wait, no. Everything that you know, every stupid thing that he says, every grotesque, horrible, nasty habit he's got, make it. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution. Behind the scenes information, breaking news, and more bold, inspired solutions for America. Well, hey, it's Mark Simone here for Sean Hannity. Now, normally you hear me on our big flagship station, WORN. It's a nice, easy show. It's 10 to noon, and then I'm going to 12 noon. And today, it's raining all week. Today was the most beautiful and sunny day ever in New York. So I was going to go out and really enjoy it. And then, like, 12:30, my phone is ringing. Now, it's Linda. I said, uh-oh. I mean, it's the middle of the day. She's not calling to say hello. This is
That doesn't make me happy at all. I feel like when you look at my name, you should be like, oh, it's Linda. Linda.
normally, yes, but hey, I said, uh-oh, this is like, it's beautiful outside. I couldn't wait to go outside all day. And sure enough, Sean got tied up with so where's Sean exactly?
So we have some pretty big shows coming up next week, and Sean is obviously a big part of the 250 plans, and unfortunately, one of those plans needed him ASAP today. So he said, "Can we get Mark to come in?" And I said, "I'll find out." So here we are.
But just because it's big plans with some major names, that has to mess up my day.
I'll tell you, man, when the president calls, you got to answer. It's just how we roll, you know?
Oh, okay. But
Some people you
Jesus.
can't say no to.
Let me get in your way, Michigander.
honor. This is the most listened to radio show in the country. It's like 17 million listeners. It's a great honor. But look how nice it is outside. I could have been out in the sun.
I know. I do agree with you. It has been very gloom and doom for many, many days. And
Mark, did you want to go and celebrate with the socialists over last night? Is that what it is?
Well, actually, they hate that. You know, the socialists that won last night, ooh, they don't like sunshine. Oh, it looks nice out. They don't like that. They like gloomy, gray skies. And what happened is here in New York, we had the primary night last night. Every wacko, left-wing, commie, socialist
One, everybody, Mom Donnie, our commie mayor, backed. One, they're calling it the hate slate, the commie corridor. It was a bad night for all of us. No matter how bad you are, this, I don't even know how you say her name. What's her name? Chevalier. The first name, Daria Lisa Chevalier. Can you imagine the guy that had to print up those bumper stickers? It wasn't easy. Actually, let's take a listen. This is cut 9. Listen to this woman.
And I know that it has not been easy, and I know that it won't be easy. Because fascism is on the rise, Trump is in office.
Yeah, it is on the rise. It's you. It's this nut job calling Trump a fascist. Now, where do you hear her plan? She wants to seize control of all buildings, apartments. They'll tell you where you can go, what you can do, what you can eat, what you can say. This is unbelievable. Mom Donnie was up there on stage with her, backing her. Now, there's a guy named Brad Lander. This is like your typical machine politician, hack New York politician, been around forever, all these different offices. And then about a year ago, he gets smart. He becomes a communist, a socialist, an anti-Semite. He hates everything about America. He just went out with it, unlike Schumer, who didn't know what to do. Acted like he was playing. But this guy really jumped into the whole socialism thing. Cut 8. Listen to this. He wins last night.
Look, we need to make clear what the fights are we're going to stand up for. I gave one example last night. One of the best things that Democrats did in a unified way last year was to make the shutdown, the government shutdown, a fight about the healthcare subsidies. I think next year, we should tell people this fall, is we're going to make that what we fight in the budget for next year. We're not going to vote for a budget that doesn't restore healthcare subsidies on the exchanges to bring people back their healthcare.
Guys just stopped up there in the lane.
Subsidies for small businesses and
supposed to be an easy path, dude.
We won't vote for a budget that doesn't do that. And then let's go fight and deliver it and hold out till the end of this time.
It's one thing to be a communist, but to talk like that, he's the most annoying guy. And talk like and why not? You have to listen to this guy. This is big platform. You have to shut down the government. It's brilliant.
Really?
That's like,
you got to make sure that they're turned on. Do you use the app or do you use the browser? And when you go to the page, make sure that the bell is turned on, because I don't think it goes on by default anymore.
Nothing happens. It shuts down every Friday for 2 days. It's no big deal. Shut it down.
I don't do Kick right now that much, because Kick likes to disconnect with the Rumble Studio constantly, so then people get bombarded with notifications every time it reconnects.
That was the problem. The guy in there was a left-wing kook who's always attacking President Trump, a lawfare guy. So it's no big loss. Hey, the only good thing last night was, who George Conway is? The former husband of Kellyanne Conway, who went completely nuts. Nobody has suffered a bigger case of Trump derangement syndrome.
Browser? Yeah.
Crazy going after Trump in Washington, D.C. Then he came here to New York. He used to live here. Came back here to run.
We're live on Rumble, too. And, anytime you see me live, I'll be on Rumble as well. It's rare that
millions and millions.
I don't do both, but it's even more rare that I'm only on YouTube. I'm not monetized on YouTube anymore, even though they keep asking me to do it.
He got about 4,000 votes, which is nothing.
I prefer they just tell me that video wouldn't have been monetized.
He got the message that he can.
Not that it's not monetized.
And he was a strange case.
Rumble does a good job too.
He was a friend of
taking care of me.
He lived in a Trump building here in New York. He met with Trump all the time. He was best friends with Ann Coulter. She'll tell you, he agreed with her on everything. He agreed with Trump on everything. And then Trump's first term happened. I don't know how it works, this Trump derangement syndrome. It's like you just snap. Your brain just snaps, and you become a raging lunatic. He went from agreeing with Trump on everything to just total nonstop ruthless hatred And this Trump derangement syndrome, which I've talked to doctors about it, they said there's some diseases like that. It's not like a cold where you get a little sniffle and then the next day a little worse. This Trump derangement syndrome can just hit you, and all of a sudden you're just going nuts. So he's one of those guys. And the other person that lost was this Kennedy kid. Hopefully it's the end of the Kennedy dynasty. You know, the last few young Kennedys that have run have all lost, and this was the son of Caroline Kennedy, who not the nicest person in the world, and her husband is a real jerk. And they had this awful kid, and the kid's a raging lunatic, as you can see from his social media. He wasn't able to delete all of it, so he lost, and he's out. President Trump was happy about some of these people, especially that Dan Goldman, tweeting out, "Thank God that jerk is gone." And but a bad night, and then Plattner wins. I don't know how long it'll take for the Democrats to get some real serious buyer's remorse. Plattner and his big Nazi tattoo has won. Now they're stuck with this guy. I don't know what they're going to do. Hey, take a listen to this President Trump, cut 2. How about the guy in Maine? He's got the Nazi stickers. He's got the whole deal. And they're trying to say so. For 8 years, 10 years, they said Trump is a Nazi. Now they can't say that anymore because they have a guy with a tattoo on his chest. So, Susan Collins, not the greatest Republican, and she talks like that and can drive your friends. And I don't know how much but nothing could have been better for her. Who's she going to be able to beat? This should be perfect. I imagine. I mean, you can't lose to a guy with a big Nazi tattoo who's got a million women accusing him of every different thing. Who's gotten caught lying on his resume. So,
Matt Morris.
I got to listen to this guy. The Iran deal. We'll talk about that throughout the show. Now, one thing is, we should explain this Iran deal. They know they're causing it. They don't care because they've become that extreme and that dangerous. And thank God we have President Trump in the White House, in the Oval Office, defending and protecting this nation every day. He has to fight 2 battles every day. He has to fight a battle against the criminals and the terrorists and the 4 enemies of this country. He has to fight a battle against the Democrats who are providing aid, shelter, and comfort to those same enemies. He's absolutely right about everything here. I'm going to disagree on one note, though. Okay, respectfully, he says there's 2 categories of Democrats: those that are evil with ill intent, and those that are cowards that are just going along with it. I think you've got a lot of stupid people too. I would push back. I'd say there's 3 categories: evil with ill intent, cowards turning a blind eye, going along with it, and there's stupid people that they're just not even living in reality. You guys know I'm from Portland, Oregon originally. That's my hometown. I've got people, friends, family members, okay? Well, used to be friends, a long time ago, back when I was going to school. You check in on them today. They refuse to even acknowledge that there is a problem. They've just become adjusted. Oh, there's a homeless guy peeing on the sidewalk? That's just how it is. Oh, they're finding hypodermic needles on the elementary school playgrounds, sprinkled in with the bark dust where the kids are playing. What can you do? That's just how it is. It's not really that bad. It's not that bad. Oh, there's a new shooting on the corner of the block downtown every single week. It's not that bad. It is what it is. They're stupid. They've just become adjusted to it. I don't know. They've accepted. It's not even accepted. They've developed a reason to believe that these things are inevitable. That's just how it is. That's just what it's like to live in a city. That's just what it's like to live in America. Gang shootings and Tren de Aragua gang members. And there's a guy who overdosed on fentanyl on the sidewalk. He's a homeless person. He's been there laying dead for 3 days. Nobody's done anything. Nobody's cleaning up the body. There's hypodermic needles on the sidewalk. There's human feces smeared on the windows of businesses. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. They've just become accustomed to it. They've given up. They're weak and they're stupid. Sorry to be rude, but it's true. It is absolutely true. And as Stephen Miller here says, thank God, literally, thank the good God up above that we actually have a president. We have a leader, the first one in decades, the first one in my entire life. I'm 32. First one in my entire life that has put himself in a position. He worked through all the trials and the tribulations and the death threats and the drama and the accusations. You're a racist, you're a Nazi. He said, listen, all of that be damned. I got a country to save. That's Trump. He's in the White House. He worked his way in with our support, and he actually is saving the country. That is what it's going to take
keep on putting America first. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes a man with resolve to do what Trump has done. You know that, right? How many people, I don't know if I can say that I would, how many people do you think would put their life and their family through living hell, torture every single day? The death threats, the assassination plots, both foreign and domestic. You've got left-wing Antifa freaks trying to kill him and his family. You've got foreign terrorists trying to kill him and his family. Every single day, a new media headline from the talking heads, the left-wing media. You got people on the right that are doing it now. Taking bites, biting his heels, his ankles every single day. Bullets literally whizzing past his head. And still, you got to do it for love of country. For love of country. That's why you do it. Okay. You don't have a leader like this pop up every year, every decade, every century. Sometimes you only get someone like Trump once every 500 years. Who the hell knows? Have you heard about the great man theory? I'm sure some of you have heard that the wheels of mankind, you look back through the history pages, and it's really a very small, select few group of men that propel society and civilization and culture forward. It all kind of comes down. Sometimes all it takes is one ingenious, Leonardo da Vinci, Henry Ford, people like this, Jesus Christ, Donald Trump. You look at a guy like Elon Musk, changing the world. Comes down to one guy sometimes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have another massive story here today, folks, and we're going to get to it now. I think you folks,
really heavy traffic on the turnpike here.
This one. Some of the best news of the day. I think you're going to like this. Ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning, Congress is on fire. The America First Republicans over in the House of Representatives, alongside President Trump himself, have just this morning gone scorched earth. And right now, the Democrats, alongside all of their rhino friends, the Republicans in name only, well, they are absolutely panicking. You see, they all must have thought that they'd gotten away with it. They must have thought that they had successfully shut down the Save America Act. But I'll tell you what, I don't think any of them could have predicted or expected what has just taken place this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to get through. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First off, we have an update from Representative Anna Paulina Luna in the House. She says, the House GOP is attempting to move a Senate bill with no voter ID and no Save America Act. She says, I will vote no on rules for this week and maybe even longer if they do not stop the games. I am not the only one either. Other House members, other House Republicans are frustrated at the games being played. This is a problem. The president agrees that the Senate needs to move on voter ID. Other frontline members depend on voter ID legislation getting passed. Stop catering to the Senate that doesn't do their job. So Anna Paulina Luna came out this morning. She said, listen, I, as well as a coalition of America First Republicans in the House of Representatives, we're not voting for a damn thing unless stapled to the front of it is the Save America Act. She says the House GOP, they tried to push through a housing bill. She says, we're not voting for this thing. No Save America Act, no vote. She said this yesterday. More information here. Myself, this is Anna Paulina Luna. Myself and 24 other members in the House have signed a letter pledging to vote no on any and every single Senate bill unless the Save America Act is passed. Now the Senate is sending a housing package to the House of Representatives, and to honor my pledge, I will oppose this bill unless the Save America Act is passed. The Senate cannot keep obstructing President Trump's agenda while ignoring election integrity. And she posts an image here. 25 members in the House Republicans, America First House Republicans, 25 of them. They're saying, you're not getting anything from us until you pass the damn Save America Act. Good for her. They're taking over, total shutdown. We heard from the House Freedom Caucus. Really, that's this group of 25 America First Republicans in the House. The House Freedom Caucus, they say, no Save America Act, then no Senate wish list. Nothing is more important right now than securing our elections. Folks, boom, bombshell. This is what you love to see. Oh, You're trying to get us to vote for a bill that doesn't have proof of citizenship or photo ID? Oh, well then, you're not getting jack shit from us. Sorry, pardon my language. Folks, this is what it looks like to put America first. President Trump chimes in. At this point, this is where President Trump chimes in. But first, before we read through this, I want to say real quick, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow, subscribe. We're on Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go drop a 5-star review. Go check out MorseReport.com for custom Morse Report, Morse Force merch. And go find our weekly newsletter talking about all of the greatest white pill news, the ways in which we are saving America every week. Weekly newsletter. Go check it out, MorseReport.com. This is what President Trump has to say here. This Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren-centric bill, this housing bill, which is of minor importance compared to lower interest rates, and even FISA, pales in comparison to passing the Save America Act, says Trump. He says, that is what Americans want. Both Democrats as well as Republicans and everyone else, that's what everybody cares about.
Keep saying Democrats.
Get the bad Republicans to approve it, or better yet, terminate the filibuster to approve it, and everything else Republicans have ever dreamed of. The Democrats will do it in 1 hour, 100%, should they ever regain control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. Republicans will feel very stupid if they don't do it first. I'll be watching with tears in my eyes. And then this is what really has everyone talking. President Trump followed up on this. He said, today's housing bill news conference and signing is hereby canceled until such a time as we pass the desperately needed Save America Act, which I consider to be a national emergency. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about? Earlier today, okay, both the Senate and the House, it was bipartisan, both Senate Democrats, Senate Republicans, Republicans in the House, Democrats in the House, they got together. Outside of this 25 America First Republican coalition, of course, they got together, they passed this housing bill. Well, you got to have the housing bill. Well, I'm sorry, what happens after the House and the Senate passes a bill? Who then has to sign it into effect? The president. President Trump. He is the president, President Trump. If you want that housing bill to be signed into effect, well, you need President Trump to sign off on it on top of the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office. Trump isn't doing it. Trump says, listen, he's siding with the coalition of 25 America First Republicans in the House, Anna Paulina Luna. Trump is coming in. He's saying, guess what? I'm not signing anything unless you put the Save America Act on top of my desk. Until that point, you don't get anything. Folks, President Trump is playing hardball. Either Congress finds a way to pass the Save America Act, or President Trump isn't signing anything into law. Because keep in mind, it doesn't matter what bills might successfully make their way through the House and the Senate. If Trump doesn't sign off on them, they don't matter. Now, folks, take a look at this. I want to share something here with you. Coming out of Fox News this morning, President Trump has just turned up the pressure on the Senate Republicans. Hours before meeting with the GOP senators on Capitol Hill, the president canceled a White House signing ceremony for a bipartisan housing bill and then issued an ultimatum. He said, no signing anything until Congress passes the Save America Act. The move puts Trump's growing frustration with Senate Republicans on full display. While the housing bill passed in both chambers of Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support, GOP leaders have repeatedly said they don't have the votes to advance the Save America Act and have resisted the calls to eliminate the filibuster. The Save America Act would, of course, overhaul elections in all 50 states and add new proof of citizenship and voter ID requirements, which Trump has repeatedly hailed as both very popular, all of it is very popular, and a common ground between both sides of the aisle. I mean, yeah, guys, like 80% of Democrat voters, that is, even Democrats want this thing. Now the president is publicly challenging Republicans to find a way forward. So, folks, can we be blunt here? Let's have an adult conversation. President Trump, as of this morning, has officially just taken Congress hostage in an effort to finally pass the Save America Act. And you know what? Good. In fact, I'll tell you something here. His plan is already working. I want you to take a listen to what House Speaker Mike Johnson had to say about all of this just earlier this morning. Let me pull this up. Here's our clip. There it is. Take a listen to this.
He's laser focused on Save America Act, as most common sense Americans are. The only path, I think, to get that done, because you're never going to get 7 Democrats to join 53 Republicans in the Senate to do that. They will not do it. Chuck Schumer will never vote for that or release any Democrats to do it. You have to put it on a reconciliation bill. We believe that if you create a grant program that ties it to reconciling the budget, and you allow blue states, if they come to their senses and they want to avail themselves of election integrity proposals and ideas and policies, they can draw down from a federal fund and use those funds. We're willing to invest heavily in that. And House Republicans will put together a reconciliation bill, reconciliation brief. We'll have that. I talked the president through that in detail this morning, as I have in the past. And he said, "Can we do it?" I said, "We can, if the Republicans will stand together." We're on the line right now to defend it. Hold on. So that's what we're going to do. The president said, "I want to see some progress on it." I said, "I'd love to show it to you. We got a meeting today and some more coming up." And so he decided, and I didn't announce it, I wanted him to announce it, but we're delaying this. As you know, he has a window of time before he has to sign a bill. He's going to use a little bit more of that window of time, and we're going to go through this together. Now, the housing bill is a great...
Okay, folks, let's go ahead and break all of this down for those of you that maybe didn't understand everything you just talked about. Okay, a budgetary reconciliation bill in the Senate, guess what? Only requires 50 votes. Plus, of course, a vice presidential tiebreaker. We've got J.D. Vance. We only need 50 votes in the Senate to pass a budgetary reconciliation bill. In fact, it was actually this 50-vote reconciliation process that we used recently to end up passing the One Big Beautiful Bill and to put an end to the recent Democrat DHS shutdown. We used the 50-vote reconciliation process. But the thing is, the bills in question here, they've got to be budgetary in nature. So what is House Speaker Mike Johnson talking about? Here is the plan. He says, if we can characterize or classify the key components of the Save America Act as being budgetary in nature, then we would only need 50 votes in accordance with the budgetary reconciliation process. At which point, who cares about the Democrats? You don't need them. Who cares about the filibuster? Speaking filibuster, nuke, the 60-vote, zombie filibuster, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, doesn't matter. Because we would use the budgetary reconciliation process, 50 votes. We would be golden. And so what Speaker Johnson is saying, he's saying this: we're just going to tie and link all of the key components of the Save America Act to a federal grant program. That's what he's talking about, which would give the states across the country, it would give the states funding that they need to properly enforce election integrity in their own states. Of course, after federally mandating that they do, requiring all of them to enforce proof of citizenship and voter ID. So simply put, now the current plan as of this morning, because Trump is playing hardball, he says, I'm not passing anything unless you got the Save America Act. Now the new plan in Congress is to make an attempt to make the Save America Act budgetary in nature, such that it would qualify for the 50-vote budgetary reconciliation process. That's the plan. Now, we spoke a moment ago about President Trump had a meeting with the Senate Republicans earlier today in the U.S.
remove
Capitol
the filibuster. They're going to do it anyway.
Well, the meeting is done now. Trump got out of that meeting.
Mandate the talking filibuster, the way it was originally set up.
Did not hold back on Senate Republicans in his meeting. He met with all of them there. Trump spent 90% of the meeting railing on the rhinos, Lisa Murkowski, Bill Cassidy, Mitch McConnell, per Punchbowl, White House press. Trump says, I don't like a few of the people, but that's okay. I think you know who they are. So we're already getting reports. This meeting Trump had with the Senate Republicans today to talk about all of this, try to resolve the issues here. 90% of the time, Trump was laying into the rhinos. And you know what? Good. They need to be put back in their place. Right now, it's time to put America first. Republican Senator Mike Lee, who's been one of the biggest advocates and champions for the Save America Act, he was in the meeting. He came out after the meeting. He posted this. President Trump is playing hardball to secure American elections. Proof of citizenship and voter ID are common sense. Massively popular policies across the country, even among Democrats and Republicans alike, which is why President Trump continues to call for the passage of the Save America Act. There are 27 weeks left in the year, and the Senate is scheduled to be in recess for 16 of them. What? It's like, what, 55% of the rest of the year?
Jersey Mike's Fremont.
The Senate plans on being on recess. Good job, John Thune. John Thune is the one that comes up with the schedule, by the way. He's the same guy, John Thune, saying that they don't have time to do a speaking filibuster. They're just too busy. They're too busy to have a 2 or 3 month long talking filibuster on the Senate floor. They just don't have it in their schedule. Unbelievable. Mike Lee says, perhaps that's why excuses like we're a few votes short or it would take too much floor time are falling flat with the American people. Oh yeah, and not just us, but also President Trump. If Democrats want to stand in the way of history, we should make it the longest year of their lives. He says, Mr. President, let's do lunch again in the very near future. You know what they should? You know what? Here's what I would say. This is so important. The Save America Act, folks, as far as I'm concerned, is so important. They should have lunch every day. They should have lunch 7 days a week. No weekends, no recess, no vacations. You are meeting with me, the president. You're meeting with the president. All of you, every single day for lunch. How about breakfast? Are you free for breakfast? What about dinner? What about all day? What about 14-hour meeting every single day? Until you cave, until you crack, until you pass the Save America Act. Trump is playing hardball. You know, that's the type of stuff he would do. Okay? This is the type of stuff we need to see if we truly want to put America first. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is going scorched earth. And Paulina Luna, she's going scorched earth. What's called the House Freedom Caucus. Talked about them. They're going scorched earth. Good. Man, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. John Thune says, we don't have time. We're too busy. What do you mean? You're spending 55% of the year on vacation. What do you mean you're too busy? These guys get paid $250,000 a year. How much does a senator get paid? $250,000, $250,000 a year. They're on vacation over half of the year. And even when they're there, they don't do anything. Even when they show up to the office, they don't do anything. The one thing they do is flip off the American people. Well, some of them, it's like John Thune, Murkowski, McConnell. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another massive story here. I want to say thank you all very much for tuning into the show today. Everybody, hey, listen, I don't know if you heard the news. We officially have Morris Forest, Morris Report merch. We've got hats, all types of hats. We've got shirts. We've got sweaters, shirts for men, shirts for women. We've got our weekly White Pill newsletter. Go check it out. It's a weekly recap of all of the top America First accomplishments, the definitive ways in which we are actually saving this country. I got sick of all the complaining and the blackmailing. Have you noticed all the other podcasters? Have you noticed? Every day they have a show and they get up there and they talk about how Trump is a failure, the country's over, nothing's happening. Baloney. Weekly White Pill newsletter, morrisreport.com. Thank you very much. Folks, one more massive story here. And this is the story where we
figure I treat myself since I got work I got to do. I'll keep
we're going to get a little bit more serious. This is the story where I might actually find myself in some hot water, okay? Because I feel very passionately about all of this. Admittedly, it's a little bit of a controversial topic we're about to breach here, okay? Let's get into it. I think we can handle it.
Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential
Center
in
we
Fremont,
have a
Ohio.
Very serious talk. This segment here is meant to serve as a reminder, really as a warning, of just how close we still are to this very day of losing our republic. I'll tell you what I mean. Just the other day, President
you don't know how to fucking use a traffic circle?
That all of us every single day need to keep in mind.
They're all...
President Trump himself, he said, and I quote, if you import the third world, you become the third world. I'll tell you what, in case you don't personally believe that statement, guess what? It's already happening in many places across the country. It seems to have already happened in New York City. And yesterday, we all just got exposed to that reality again. You see, last night in New York, they held a series of Democrat primary House elections. And I hate to tell you all this, sincerely, I do, but guess what? Every single candidate that Ugandan communist Mayor Mamdani endorsed, he gave his personal endorsement, all of them ended up making their way successfully through the process. They all won. Congratulations, Mamdani. And I'll tell you something. This should absolutely concern every single person here in the audience, because these Democrat candidates are, simply put, anti-American bill. If I can be blunt with all of you. Folks, take a look at this. Here's one right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Daria Liza Avila Chevalier just won New York 13 Democrat primary. Mamdani endorsed her. There she is. She's talking about defunding the police, swaddled up in her hijab. On a social media account of hers, she said this: I forgot to get napkins, so I just wiped my dirty hands on the American flag behind me. She had dirty hands at a restaurant or something, and she wiped her dirty, grimy hands. Oh, it's an American flag. I'll use it like a napkin. I'll wipe my grime on it. This individual might just end up sitting in the U.S. House of Representatives, folks, come November. Endorsed by Mamdani. Democrat House Rep, perhaps soon to be. I'll show you something else. We have another one here. How about this one? This same individual, Daraliza Avila Xavier is her name. She is the founder of an organization called CUAD. She says, fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. Excuse me, pardon me? Folks,
it's incredible.
She is fighting on behalf of the total eradication of Western. Won the Democrat primary tonight for a state Senate seat in New York, in the state Senate. Here she is saying that 9/11 was America's fault because of our system of capitalism.
That was easy.
And so, like, and finding that, like, you know, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., have all, and Islamophobia have all been used, you know, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is like a long trajectory, and we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us
9/11
about, you know, attack.
This bitch crazy, man.
If you look back, like, historically, right, you know, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, a lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that The idea that we have to apologize for like a terror attack that like a couple people did, and then reparations for genocide and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find like reprehensible.
It's reprehensible. You know what's reprehensible is all these third world immigrants that we have charitably accepted in our country as refugees, talking about unifying and solidifying over their hatred of white Americans, of our American values, and then dedicating their entire professional lives after being given everything and taken into our nation out of their war-torn hellholes that they come from. We take them in, and then they dedicate their entire adult professional lives to tearing our republic apart. That is what is reprehensible. I'll tell you something here, folks. That little idiom, import the third world and you become the third world, sure is starting to make a little bit more sense now, isn't it? Now, you might be asking, who's voting for these people? How are they even winning their elections? They're so psychotic. What sort of American would actually vote for people like this? Well, I'll tell you something here. The voters are not Americans. They themselves are immigrants from third world hellholes that hate this country with every single fiber in their body. That is who is voting for these anti-American politicians, if you will. In fact, on that note, I've got something I want you to take a look at. Former CBP Commander Greg Bovino, the legend, he actually chimed in on this earlier today. Take a listen to what he said. Bovino, he says, "Wake up, America. New York City now has 750 to 1 million Muslims, up to 1 million Muslims in New York City. That is roughly 9% of the entire city. Similarly, it is the biggest concentration of Muslims anywhere in the United States of America."
No,
that is exactly why Darializa Avila Chevalier, speaking in her hijab about bringing her Muslim faith into Congress, just won New York 13 Democrat primary. Muslims vote in strong identity blocks. They vote in solidarity. It's not complicated. It's math, and it is tribalism, is what it is. We're still pouring in legal immigrants from these countries with zero assimilation pressure and no push for mass deportations coming out of the DHS. Greg Bovino, he's not happy. He wants more deportations. I think we all do. He says, get used to seeing more of this. Demographics are destiny when you refuse to filter them. Open your eyes, America, before it is too late. Darializa Avila Chevalier, she says, Inshallah, if she makes it to Congress, her Muslim faith will guide her into the halls of power, is what she says.
There was a big fire over to the right. Man, black smoke.
Example, really. By the way, of course, Bovino, everything he says here.
Holy crap.
Right. If you want an example of what all of this third world...
I almost want to go look and see what it is.
What you can begin to expect if we continue to go down this path. Becoming the third world after importing the third world. You want an example of what that actually looks like down on the streets of New York City? Well, we have a situation here. It went viral yesterday. Take a look at this. This is actually going to make you laugh. Breaking news. A woman who was caught on video dumping out a Knicks-themed trash can and stealing it during the parade has revealed to be a J.P. Morgan Chase PEI executive. She just got fired. New York City placed out these commemorative Knicks sporting event garbage cans in honor of the event. And this woman went downtown, found one of them, dumped out all the garbage all over the sidewalk, complete and total filth, and then stole the garbage can, taking it home. Yoink, that's my garbage can now, and leaving the garbage there on the sidewalk. There she is. She's looking rather portly. She looks like a pear. She's rather pear-shaped, very portly, with her beautiful dreadlocks, looking like a predator. She looks like a fat predator. You ever see the movie Predator with Schwarzenegger?
See if I can
She looks like an obese predator, is what she looks like. Well, she's preying on this garbage can, that much can be said. Here she is on the subway. They got a photo with her. Peace sign, she's happy as a clam, smiling. Look what I got. I stole a garbage can. I got garbage everywhere. Another one here. Breaking, the woman who went viral for stealing a Knicks-themed trash can at the parade last week was identified as Angie Bias, the director of DEI at J.P. Morgan. Wow. JP Morgan has reportedly fired Baez after the video of her got millions of views on social media, and the firm confirmed today that she is no longer working for them. That's the garbage can right there. Keep New York City clean is what it says on the side. She said, nope, I'm dumping that garbage everywhere. This is my garbage can. I'm bringing it home. Now, this is all public information. There's no private information being leaked here. This is within public domain. Take a look at this. This is her resume. The resume that she used to get her job at JP Morgan Chase.
I'm thinking it's a car fire, actually. A lot of smoke, but it's looking like a car fire now.
DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion executive. She was on the executive board. She was in charge of DEI. And she got hired with nothing more.
Smoke started dissipating. Probably a car fire.
2-year degree in art. In art. That's all it takes to get on the JP Morgan executive board. Then, allegedly, they paid her $300,000 per year.
Smoke started dissipating.
After hiring her to sit around on her big fat ass, pardon my language, discriminating against white people on a daily basis in the workplace, all day, every day. Seriously, what do you think a DEI executive does? That's what she was doing. Well, that is when she wasn't pilfering through garbage on the streets of New York City and stealing city property. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we might get a little bit controversial. Let me go ahead and ask all of you a question. Have you noticed that our country is getting a little bit dirtier, a little bit filthier, more garbage and litter and graffiti all over the place? Have you noticed that people are less polite and less well-kept? Have you noticed that people are less helpful, less endearing? That they leave shopping carts, for instance, right in the middle of the grocery store parking lot? Hey, not my problem. Somebody else will take care of it. They don't pick up after themselves. They fling their garbage and refuse all over the place. Have you noticed that people are less kind to the elderly and to young American children? I don't care about you. Folks, everything we have just described here can only be characterized as national decay. And the reason why is because the nation has been decaying is because people inside of the nation have changed. The nation has been decaying because the people inside of the nation have changed. They're not what they used to be.
Let me see if I can pull up the fire channel on the scanner.
In 1965, 88% of Americans were of ethnic white European ancestry. Today, that number has fallen down to 56%. A number that, mind you, would make every single one of our founding fathers, most certainly George Washington himself, spin in their grave at light speed. So yes, once again, when President Trump says that if you import the third world, you will become the third world, guess what? He's absolutely right. As they say, demographics are destiny. Your demographics are your destiny. Third world nations are the way they are because of their demographic situation. Norway is the way that it is. Clean, prosperous, everybody's fit, attractive, and healthy. No garbage, no graffiti, because of their demographic situation that they've got in Norway. I don't think that controversial here, perhaps. Although
group of Norway World Cup fans and doing the Viking row.
99% of our immigrants came from Europe.
That was pretty cool.
I'm tired of pretending like our nation's official immigration policy,
500
up until 1965, the immigration policy that literally built this country, is now somehow too taboo to talk about. Because, you know, from our nation's inception, Revolutionary War, all the way up to 1965, some of the older members of this audience might remember, actually, we only took immigrants from Europe to a factor of 99%. You know that. Which is why the country was 88% ethnically European up until 1965. At which point, the Hart-Celler Act was passed through Congress. Lyndon B. Johnson, thanks a lot. Democrats, thanks a lot. Anti-American globalists, thanks a lot. They passed the Hart-Celler Act, and guess what? It opened up our nation's immigration to the entire world. Our country, post-1965, became the dumping ground for the delinquents, for the malcontents, for the misfits of every third world country all across the entire planet. Our country has become a human garbage dump. Literally. And I know it might be rude or controversial to say that, but as a matter of fact, that is what has happened, and it shows. Go walk through your local town. You'll see garbage and filth everywhere. It didn't used to be like that. You can go find old videos of our great American cities in the 1950s, early 1960s, 1940s. We used to have a proper society because we had proper people. Now we don't. We've got some problems. All of this is why it is so massively important that President Trump is successful, that the mass deportations continue on and continue to grow even more massive day by day, month by month, year by year. This is why it is so important that we keep the Democrats permanently out of the White House, out of the House majority, out of the Senate majority. Stephen Miller said last night, he said, if you vote for a Democrat, at this point, the Democrat Party is so far gone. It's not the party that it used to be 30, 40 years ago. No, it is a third world communist, anti-American, jihadist entity. That is what the Democrat Party is. If you vote for a Democrat in any election ever, local, city council, doesn't matter, any election ever, you personally are co-signing the destruction of this republic. We cannot allow that to happen. We need to keep on putting America first. I told you folks, a little bit of a controversial segment there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tuning into the show today. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. You know my.
I'm actually going. If he's only going to do an hour, I was going to raid him.
And then we're going to do an extended Rumble segment on today's show after the Super Chats and Rumble Rants.
All right.
So we're going to be here another hour and a half or so today. But
okay. Good.
Let's keep going through our Super Chats and Rumble Rants, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for being. I want America. I want a homogenous, cohesive, culturally and otherwise America, where we have a shared sense of value, where we have a shared sense of belonging, and all of us are working for a better future for this country, for our children, for our posterity, as our ancestors did for us. They paid it forward to us. We need to pay it forward to our children. We got to step up to the plate here. We got to step up to the plate. You know, it's depressing to think about here. Our ancestors 100 years ago, 200 years ago, they would be so disappointed in us that we have allowed our country to become what it is now. You ever think about that? Do you think what they would think about this? They would be so disappointed in what we have done with the country that they sacrificed everything to build. They would be so disappointed. We owe it to them. We owe it to them to stand up and take the fucking country back. We cannot let it keep going the way it's been going, guys. You see what's happened in New York? You see what's happened down in Texas with the Indian takeover? They've got giant 200-foot tall statues to Indian demon gods. What are we doing? What's happening? Enough is enough. Okay. Super Chats and Rumble Rants, ladies and gentlemen. Super Chats and Rumble Rants. Let's get these pulled up. I get a little bit heated. Sorry, hey, to all the grandmas in the audience, talk about immigration, I get a little bit heated. It's not, to me, there's nothing more important. Okay. Our very first Rumble Rant here of the day is from Elder Rimmel. Thank you. And that's with the Rumble wallet. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. $50 Rumble wallet, Rumble Rant. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Huge support, big time support. Colio over on YouTube says, love the show. Say, can you turn off your color filter? The MAGA hat is pink and the Morse hat, yeah, I'm not going to change anything. I appreciate that, though. It's the show. Hey, if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Michael says this. I've seen a lot of bullish bull pools saying that Paxton is losing the Senate race. What did the Democrats get by releasing fake polls? They demoralized the Republicans and they moralized the Democrats. It's a demoralization op is what it is. They're trying to demoralize people. They're trying to convince Republicans that, oh, well, it's already lost. It's over. I might as well not go vote because it'd be a waste of my time. Because
all right, I'm going to go ahead and raid him.
That's what they want to have happen. I'm not going to fall for it.
I'll be back on
Cheap
the
says,
ride
I
home.
used to be a Democrat, but now I'm okay. Thank you very much. Good for you. A Democrat is just a Republican who hasn't been mugged yet. Patricia Luna says, thank you, Matt, for the good news today. Anxiously waiting my Morse 4 shirts. I'll tell you something. This is kind of like a funny story. Over the weekend, we launched the website and all the merch on Friday, which was incidentally Juneteenth. I had no idea, but I guess it was. Well, the banks were closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They reopened on Monday because it was our launch. We had like 10 or 15